welcome back to our channel. Man, I want to say that Brittany, one of our amazing therapists, former intern, is posting all of the content right now for me. Today's June 1 that I'm recording this, and we have content that she's going to be posting through the 14th, I think, that we have set up. So that's pretty cool. Like one video a day. I have a backlog of content from 2019, if not 18. So yeah, working on that. And I guess I know it's a consistent theme that comes up a lot, right? But I mean, like, a lot of it comes down to being self-conscious and being afraid of criticism. Because I know people are pretty brutal out there, right? I tend to be pretty sheltered from it, and I like it that way. But anyway, so yeah, and I know that my content is kind of all over the place. I have a lot of knowledge about a lot of topics. Again, if ever you have any requests in particular that fall within my realms of knowledge, I'm totally down to consider recording something. So let us know. Sweet. My name is Magnolia Heaton. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I am the owner, clinical director, founder of Love is Healing LLC, and we specialize in the treatment of complex trauma through an integrative health approach, integrative mental health approach. So yeah, the biological, psychological, social, spiritual. That comes from social work, but I really like to do my best to teach my staff and interns what it really means to do that, right? And to teach them groundbreaking knowledge rather than just what the textbook says, and things that are applicable and different points of view and critical thinking, so that they can work really well with other people. So yeah. And I myself just offer EMDR intensives at this point. I've been training in EMDR, and it's been so exciting. And I'm working toward my certification, and I love it. I waited so long to take the training, and I'm glad that I did, because I found a lot of other modalities that are super cool, but I feel like EMDR for me really solidifies my knowledge, and I'm like, yes, I found the truth. The one and only truth. Just kidding. But I really do love EMDR. It pairs really well with everything that I know. So anyway, getting back to the topic of the video today, I had a friend of mine who has a son who experienced medical trauma, and that's unfortunate. And I have a daughter, her son's age, who also experienced medical trauma when she was born. So I get that, and I feel really bad about it. Sad. That said, I was like, I could tell her what the recommendations that I'd give her would be, or I could just record it and then have other people have access to it too, you know? So here we go. The definition of trauma in and of itself is like an experience that causes us to feel like we're out of control, right? Things are beyond our control, or things are beyond our capacities for coping. And that could be anything. There are people who say that there's big trauma, like car accident, right? Or death of a loved one that's sudden, or something like that. So that would be a big T trauma, something that's not terribly common, right? And there's little t trauma, which is like just little things that happen, right? Like maybe microaggressions from being part of a marginalized group, for example. And, you know, just there's people who agree with that big T, little t, and there's people who don't. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to use that for the purposes of this, because I'm like, yeah, it makes sense, and I feel like it's relatable, right? So yeah, it could be a single event or a series of events, and all of us have some trauma. I really want to stand on that, and I feel like this is really controversial, because a lot of reasons. I think that mainstream culture, one, is in really deep denial about a lot of things, right? And then secondly, I don't know, it's just not something that's popular to put out there, right? But yeah, if you've the way that I was trained is like, if you've been born, you've experienced trauma because you came out of a really warm place. It was nice and cozy and you were taken care of, right? For the most part. And then you came out into this cold, bright world, right? That has all kinds of weird sounds and smells. So there's that. Also, I mean, if you've lived through COVID-19, then you've absolutely experienced trauma, right? Regardless of whatever your beliefs are, the world did get shut down and a lot of families were split apart and stuff like that, right? And so, with that, taking a deep breath. Okay. What do we do with trauma, right? I think whether it's a series of events or a single event, this applies for, say, our child. It also applies for teens. It also applies for adults. You would handle it slightly differently, right? With anybody who's older than, say, a toddler, and I consider a toddler 0 to 5, right? Toddler/baby. But kind of what comes to mind is when you have a specific trauma that's really clear, right? So I would say the number one thing to do would be to hold space. What does that mean? That means I'm calm enough, I'm grounded like a mountain, right? And I'm able to be stable and be the stability that my kid, this kid, whatever, needs in that moment. So I have to calm down and be able to lean on my support system and stuff like that to be able to be that grounded presence, right? If the kid's crying or tantruming or something like that, it's going to stress my nervous system. So I want to make sure that my nervous system is okay to be able to regulate theirs. If I'm okay, my mirror neurons and my body, my energy, everything is going to, my physiology, my heart is going to impact my kid's nervous system, right? Because mine dominates my kid's nervous system because I'm the co-regulator, the primary caregiver, whatever, right? We're the caregiver in the moment. Cool. So we hold space. There's different things that go under that. Okay, like I said, 1, regulate. 2, we want to contain. So I'm thinking a toddler, right? And so like, or a baby. So I would want to hold them if I could, if they'd let me, right? Or if they're flaming and stuff like that, like help them get that energy out, yeah, but like bring their body closer together so that they feel more centered, right? Also, I would use my voice as a tool to create a container. I'm so sorry, not a container. To help with the co-regulation. When we speak in a higher tone of voice, when we speak slower and different things like that, we're speaking to the emotional part of the brain. And so that bypasses a lot of things and it's like kind of a direct connection, right? Also, I mean, if you're going to do that and you're helping with the trauma, I would want to convey empathy, right? So there's that too. And be genuine. So that would be number 1, holding space, right? Number 2 would be to name what happened. This happened, right? You were outside, you were playing with your favorite toy, and then you slipped, and then you fell, and then you scraped your knee, and then it hurt really bad, and then there was a lot of blood, and it was so scary because you've never seen that much blood before. Oh man, that was so scary. I'm jumping ahead actually. But yeah, naming what happened, right? In whatever words you have / would resonate with the kid / that the kid would use, right? So a combination of that. And then I would say organize the feelings. So like, oh man, that was scary. That must have felt really unexpected. So that must have been really surprising, shocking. Maybe even made you mad. That kind of thing, right? The purpose of that is that the nonverbal becomes verbal. A sudden event happened. There was a lot of impact, right? Enough to throw me off kilter. And so, yeah, that is what happened. That's true. So I'm speaking to the logical part, of the brain in that second piece. And then the third one with the organizing the feelings and speaking to the emotional part of their brain. So we're touching both on the left and the right side. So that's good, because what trauma does is it splits this way and it splits this way, right? So it splits the left side, logical side, and the right side, the emotional part of the brain. And so we're tackling those. In step number 1, we're holding space. So we're helping to connect the body, right? Contain, center it, all that stuff. So I love that. Hold space, name what happened, organize the feelings. Number 4, if you wanted, this is just kind of a bonus thing. I think even if you just did that, that would be sufficient. Would be to give them messages about themselves in the future. Oh man, if this happens again, I think. And I think this is after like all of the processing happens and things like that, right? It could be like, yes, you've fallen before and it was really scary and you sought help and you cried and someone came for you and we dressed the wound, etc., right? Kind of, we want to show them it's not the end of the world without without dismissing their concerns. So it's like, to me, it's about self-empowerment, right? The more we can use and instead of but, that's better. Because if we say but, we negate everything that happened before that, right? Yeah, but at least, yes, and you have this resiliency, and you have these strengths, right? I think that's it for the most part. I would say too, you could try tapping on the back of their shoulders or on their knees, right? If they're scared or just whenever they're having any kind of intense emotions, just to help ground them and to help connect the left and the right side of the brain, because you're connecting the left and the right side of the body, right? Or you could have them tap their feet too. I think that'd be good. Kind of helps keep them grounded in the moment. And of course, if you feel like it's very intense and unmanageable, I hope that didn't black out fully. I keep losing my screen, keeps going black. If you feel like it's really that intense and you should seek professional help, I'd invite you to definitely listen to your intuition and do that. Because likely you're right. You know your child best, or the child under your care the best, I'd say. So I would invite you to trust that. Yeah, this isn't medical advice or anything like that. It's not psychological advice either. It's informational. And feel free to reach out, ask questions. Feel free to research any of this stuff. I think if you wanted to go down this a little bit more, just in general about how to build more secure attachment, I would invite you to research circle of security. Circle like the shape of security, parenting. And then you'll find different images, you'll find trainings, videos. I imagine YouTube would have some too, actually. But yeah, it's a parenting curriculum and it helps to support teaching of secure attachment. They have parenting classes probably the world over, honestly. Yeah, I hope that this helped. It's sad when they go through trauma and they're not themselves. Also, the sooner that we address trauma symptoms, the better the outcomes in the future. Kind of the whole adage of an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So yeah, definitely. That's it. Thank you for watching. If you want any information, want a book, want to look into our trainings, anything like that, find us at Love is Healing LLC. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our handle is at Love is Healing LLC. Thank you so much again. Hope to see you soon. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.